Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai, 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 Koholo Yahweh, Bahashim Yahweh Shai, Bahashim Rakakwadash. Double honors to the apostle of GMS who teach and rule well. Salutations to you brothers in the highways and hedges. Salutations also goes out to your brothers and few sisters that tune in to listen and learn. I'm the brother Malak from the Diligent Soldier Camp here in Boston, Mass. As always, I pray this lesson be edifying to the elect. The name of this one is They Err Not Knowing the Scriptures. They err not knowing the Scriptures. Okay, and obviously, I'm speaking of our people first and foremost, and is exactly what the Scriptures are speaking of also, man. Our people err not knowing and not having the correct understanding of the Scriptures, man. Okay, especially about the prophecies. As a matter of fact, they're not even worrying about prophecies, man. Jake is out here thinking that they're gonna be here till they 80 years old. They're gonna get to see their grandkids. Or their kids have their grandkids and so on and so forth, man. Vain. They have vain thoughts of prosperity, man. Vain plans of prosperity, man. What else, man? They don't believe that the conflict that's going on right now with all these different nations are going to escalate to anything serious or more serious than what they perceive. I guess it is, because people are dying right now, man. You got nations going to war. You got other nations prepping for war. And all the meanwhile, we got Babylon. Their favorite country, these two third-minded Jakes, favorite country in the world, that they'll tell you, man. I've heard Jakes before say, hey, man, this is the best country in the world. On top of that, because at one point we all thought of that, right? But at the same time, it's like you see all the wickedness, all the backhanded deals, all the dirty shit that this country does is out there, you know what I mean? And people hear it about it. You have whistleblowers. And no matter what, Jake finds that righteous. You know what I'm saying? They don't find no problem with that, no fault with that, man. And I've heard, I've heard Jake's. No, I actually, I have my own sister had told me one time, man, like, so what country you planning to move to? You know what I'm saying? Or if you don't like it, leave the country type of shit. Like, it's crazy. It's not, the way I perceived it wasn't so much that she wanted me out, right? But it was more like she heard me speaking these facts about the country, and that's what upset her because she was doing fairly well for herself financially. She has a beautiful home, and not to zero in on my sister, but she represents a lot of the other Jakes I know in the world, man, that just want Babylon to keep going, man. They're not hasting in the day of the Lord, nor do they even worry about the day of the Lord at all. It's no wonder that it's described as the Lord coming as a thief in the night, man, because these people are going to get caught with their pants down, with their in the middle of their wickedness, man, in their security, as the scripture says, man, that they're gonna be destroyed. You know what I'm saying? And this truth of ours prepares us, man, for what's to come, because we see it coming, man. We see the prophecies happening day in and day out. We see, and as far as prophecy goes into, World War III ramping up, right? You got these devils talking about an imminent cyber attack on Babylon's coming soon from Russia, right? You have these vaccines still being pushed. At the same time, there's a lot of shameful information is coming out of these backhanded deals with money involved, because it's always about money, the greed for money, right? as the scripture says, man, the love of money. But when you go into that word love, and I believe it's in the Greek, it goes into the greed, into the greed of money, man. You know, these people are greedy for especially the people in power, man. And although meanwhile, man, these Jakes think that these institutions, man, have their best interest in mind, and it's just not like that, man. You know, it's vain, wishful thinking. As I was talking to a Jake about this, man, and you know, I try not to even go into conversations like this with these people, man. But you know, as Lot was vexed with their filthy communication, so are we, man. And sometimes you can't help but just call it how it is, man, whether they like it or not. Even if you don't use scriptures, but they'll try to go into scriptures, you know, based on what you're telling them, you know, because you can't have a regular worldly conversation with them, because they know what you believe in, man. When you're in this truth, they know what you stand for. You're different. You speak different. You act different. You're not the same person. You're reborn when you come into this truth, man. But you know, without further ado, I'm gonna make this, you know, short and sweet. I only got a few scriptures, 3 different books with a few scriptures in each, and we'll make this short and sweet just to back everything up and, you know, further emphasize, man, on the things that's going on, man, and we just gotta stay the course, man. Point blank, period, man. These people are lost, man. Jake don't know that they're special. You know what I'm saying? Therefore, since they don't know that they're special, they're gonna die like everyone else that isn't special. You know, all these other nations, including Esau, man. Right? So let's get into the first one. This is the book of 2 Peter, chapter 3, verses 11 through 13. I'm gonna read. Okay, it says, "Seeing then that all these things shall be dissolved, what manner of persons ought ye to be in all holy conversation and godliness?" And this is exactly what we're doing right now. Even this lesson that you're hearing, you know, this is godly conversation, man. This is godly talk, these lessons, man. Okay, because we see the things that are dissolving in front of us, man. You know what I mean? War, you know, the MO to the TB, man. You know, which is the micro C hips, without a shadow of a doubt. You know, JT, Jacob's Trouble, coming together soon. And all these things on top of that are gonna happen one after another, man. It's gonna be like this domino effect, man. That by the time Jake noticed, man, you know, is as the scripture says, man. Then shall they know a prophet was among them. It's just gonna be too late for them, man. You know, the warning is going out, the trumpets are being blown, and Jake just don't want to get it, man. Verse 12, "Looking and hasting unto the coming of the day of power, wherein the heavens, being on fire, shall be dissolved, and the elements shall melt with fervent heat." What's that, man? The ICBMs, man, going off out here in Babylon, you know, and all the other nations where it's also going to be shot to, man. You know, Babylon shooting at other nations, you know, Russia, any other nations that they aim in these you know, China, North Korea, I believe it is, you know, and vice versa, you know. I was just seeing the movie, what is this guy's name? It's an old movie, man, with this kid from the guy that made Ferris Bueller's Day Off. Man, I forget his name now, man. Anyways, it has to do with war games, right? These simulations that they play in these computers, these giant computers. And long story short, man, at the end of the movie, you know, you see in the war room, you're seeing these the simulation going on, you know, and they think it's really happening. You know, the military that's there, NORAD, I think it is, they think it's really happening, you know. Although meanwhile it's a simulation that's going on. But the point is, man, on the screen you're seeing the missiles being shot, you know what I mean, the intercontinental ballistic missiles being shot, man. You know, and I think they mentioned like 2,400 just from Russia coming over to Babylon, man, right? The U.S. and we know it's way more than that, you know. But just the ones that was shot, that was mentioned, wiped out the whole the whole country, man. You know, I think it was like the peak, the last little bit of Texas was the only part that didn't really look like it was touched, man. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, man, you know, it's gonna happen. It's in the scriptures, you know. So let me just move forward, man. Because the thing is, you know, the reason I mentioned that is because the only thing that's gonna be able to dissolve the elements, man, or as the scripture says here, fervent heat is those missiles when they shot off and they hit their target, you know, or blow up in their respected cities or disrespected cities, whatever. You know, they're gonna melt everything, man, from the bricks to vaporizing the people, melting the goddamn light poles and mailboxes and cars and your windowsill. You know what I'm saying? Your everything, man. Everything's just about to get wiped off, man, as the scripture's saying right here. So from the top again, looking forward and hasting onto the coming day of power, and that's what we're doing, man. This is why we're sounding the trumpet now, sounding the alarm as the scriptures command us to do, man. You know, we're sounding that on because we know what's going to happen. And it says, wherein the heavens being on fire shall be dissolved, and the elements shall melt with fervent heat. Verse 13, nevertheless, we, according to his promise, look for a new heaven and a new earth, wherein dwelleth righteousness. And that's exactly right, man. Ever since we came into this truth, man, we don't want nothing but to hope to be the Lord have mercy on us to save us in that day. But we want out, man. This life is not it, man. You know, we could all if your mind is not on some you hate the status, not the status, the life that you're living right now, because it's nothing but, you know, how should I put it? Not so much problems that come from the Lord, right? Like afflictions that the Lord makes us go through, but you know, just the earth being destroyed, the waters that we drink, the air that we breathe. You know, this man in power, man. That you know, and the people suffering, man. You know what I'm saying? All people on top of that, right? Because we only care about our nation, but it's like, yeah, the whole fucking earth, man. Even the Edomites themselves, man, the low level peons is suffering. You know what I'm saying? And besides him, it shouldn't be like that, man. If this man was with all the money and resources that he has, it shouldn't be that way. But that's how the Lord designed this man. You know what I'm saying? That's where he got to be taken out, because, you know, if it was up to him, no flesh would be saved, man. If the Lord just lets this man keep living for a few more years, you know, because we hope and pray that this is sooner than later, man, that the Lord comes through, man, because he can't come any sooner, man, you know. But you know, we looking for that the new heavens, man, you know, and the new earth, man, the refreshment. You know, that the Lord is gonna hit the whole earth with, man, a refreshing, man, where righteousness dwells forever, man. You know, and Yasha Allah benefits for eternity are off of that, man. You know. Next book I wanna get into is the book of Revelations, chapter 2, verse 20. I'll start at 26, man, because you got a lot of people. You got people that have a problem with us saying that we're gonna be ruling, man. You know what I'm saying? They want to stay in this current how should I put it? This current state where these nations are over us, man. You know, these peons are over us, and the earth is just suffering, man, along with Yasha Allah, man. Right? So Revelations 2:26, it says, and he that overcometh, right, and keepeth my work unto the end, right? The law, statutes, and commandments to the best of our ability, us rehearsing it, right? And fearing the Lord, staying in the spirit of holy conversation, enduring basically, right, to the end. To him I will give power over the nations. So there you go. That's the proof that we're going to be on top, man, over all these other nations, man. You know what I'm saying? You know, we know that we can't do anything right now. As a matter of fact, the scriptures tell us to, the Lord tells us to be wise as serpents and harmless as doves, roughly paraphrasing, man. And that's exactly what we're doing. So, you know, I mean, just because we're calling it how it is, hey, man, that's prophecy. And the Lord is the spirit of prophecy, man. You know, so it's like we have to be pushing these things out. We have to be mentioning it. You know, we have to be repeating ourselves all the time like a broken record, man. You know, Jake easily forgets. And these scriptures, you just can't read them for a few years and you think you just got it, man. You constantly got to be going through it because there's different levels to this understanding. And the Lord gives understanding to who he wants it to, man. That increase, man. So, you know, you have to keep working on it, basically, man. Right? But these Christians think that they got it. These Christians think that they got it all figured out, that they got the Lord figured out. You know what I'm saying? That the Lord is not going to let the U.S. Be destroyed. And Babylon is talking about, you know, the Babylon that's talking about is Iraq, when there's still people over there. So then that will put Isaiah 13 none and void. You know, like it just makes no sense, man. Well, it does make sense. I'll take that back. It does make sense that they can't realize that, man, because the Lord just hasn't given them that understanding, man, basically, right? Verse 27, and he, right, the ones that the Lord gives them, gives the rod to rule over the nations, and he shall rule them with a rod of iron. Salakia, now that it's mentioning the rod. I'll start from the top. Revelations chapter 2, verse 26. And he that overcometh and keepeth my works unto the end, to him I will give power over the nations, and he shall rule them with a rod of iron. As the vessels of pottery, as the vessels of a potter, shall they be broken to shivers, even as I received of my Father, man. So yo, we gonna be ruling, you know what I'm saying, with a rod of iron, man. You know what I'm saying? And whoever's not with it, that's either you get down or lay down, and that's it. You know, the will of the Father is always going to be established and always going to happen, man. It's always going to go. It's a goal always for the will of the Lord, man. And that's point blank period, man. You know, last scripture I want to bring out is 2 Ezra chapter 6 verse 55, man. Okay, it says, all this have I spoken before thee, O Lord, because thou madest the world for our sake. Who's the hour in the scripture right here, man? Yasha'Allah, man. The Lord made the earth was made for Yasha'Allah to dwell in, to enjoy. You know what I'm saying? To rule over the other nations. You know what I mean? To be the light to the other nations, the perfect example. You know what I mean? And that's just not the case right now. And from the beginning of the book to the end of it, right? It's all about Yasha'Allah, man. Okay? The Old Testament, the Apocrypha, and the New Testament, man. That's all one book, all speaking about Yasha'Allah. It's our history book, you know? And in those books is the prophecies and predictions, if you will, right? For Yasha'Allah, man, for the future of Yasha'Allah. And no, there's no such thing as spiritual Israel. It's just not in the book. There's no such thing as the Trinity. It's just not in the book, man. You know what I'm saying? God the Father and God the Son, the same person. No, that's just not in the book. These are things that were made up by men. But to stick to the point, right? The scripture says here, 2 Ezra 6 and 5, all this have I spoken before thee, O Lord, because thou madest the world for our sake, for Israel, As for the other people which also come of Adam, because we all come from Adam, right? Everybody came from Adam. Thou hast said that they are nothing but be like unto spittle. Spit, man. When you spit and you keep walking, you will never think about how many times since you started spitting when you was a youngster, you know what I mean? And men tend to spit a little more than women, but how many times do you think of, the spit that the saliva that you spit out a few years ago, man? Never, man. You know what I'm saying? It's nothing. You spit, that shit evaporates after a while, and that's it. That's that, As for the other people which also came of Adam, thou hast said that they are nothing, but be like unto spittle, and has likened the abundance of them unto a drop that falleth from a vessel. So here you go, you got a whole gallon, a whole bucket of water, and as you're walking, it's moving. The water in there is moving from side to side all over the place, and some of it tends to fall out, right? You don't stop and try to absorb it and squeeze it back in the bucket. You keep it moving. You know what I'm saying? That's just it. That's it. So Yasha Allah is all about Yasha Allah, man. It's all about the salvation of Yasha Allah by our Redeemer Yahweh Shah HaMashiach, who the Father Yahweh has sent. And that's it. Point blank, man. There's nothing else to it, man. I pray that this lesson was edifying. I know it was short and kind of a little blunt, but it's like the scripture says, man, the simplicity of Yahweh Shai HaMashiach, man. This truth is going to resonate with the elect no matter what, especially if it's being told just how the Lord wants it to be told and taught. Okay? So with that, I pray that this lesson was edifying to the elect, because it's all about the elect. And I want to give all honors and praises to our power, Yahweh Bahashim, Yahweh Shai Bahashim Bakakodash. I want to give double honors again to the apostles who teach and rule well, and they continue being great examples to us brothers. Salutations to you brothers in the highways and hedges, sacrificing yourselves every day more than ever. Now more than ever, as the Elder Malcolm says. Salutations to you brothers that tune in to listen, and you sisters that tune in to listen and learn also, man. With that, I want to say Shalom, Ababa Wall, and DTA, man. Soon.